Naomi, always a young creator of Positive Living Inspiration. I'm so excited to join you today because each and every one of you are going to have an introduction to what goes wrong when it doesn't go right. That's right. Each and every day we have this challenge of how to get out of bed, which side of the bed to get out on, who to talk to first, which screen to look at, which echo to talk to. Yeah. Well, I tell you, life is tough for seniors these days. And seniors who don't know what they're doing with technology could have a day like mine. Yeah, that's right. My day started out with getting out of bed, talking to a financial planner, misplacing my glasses. Yep, you know what? Every day is going to be that way. So what can you do today to make your day better? I hope I hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day. What I am here to talk about today is positive living inspiration for you and for you to find a way to connect with your world in a better way. So, I really like to talk about seniors and their challenges. And I was honored to be on a podcast recently, and it's going to air soon, but I'm giving you guys the preview, right? So, if you get a preview, what would it look like? A preview could be the radio right on here. So it is 12 days of hope. Help other people every day. Hope. So, what I wanted to tell you about today is this interview. So, Connie Benjamin, after nearly losing her marriage and almost giving up, she began a quest to live her life to combine her business and her family. And she developed a system that she calls My Fire Within that helped her fall in love with her husband again. Yay! And stay working at home, raising her three daughters. Connie Benjamin is the podcast host for her show called My Fire Within. She's a #1 international best-selling author of her book called Women with Fire. Connie is on a mission to empower entrepreneurs. She's passionate about helping anyone who feels like they are the best kept secret to cut through the noise of the online world, which we know is quite noisy. She can help them powerfully share their message through their own unique, intentional process that she teaches them. So Connie's going to be the host, and I'm going to share the interview of what we did on My Fire Within.
I am so excited today to be interviewing Naomi Carmona Morsehead. Let me tell you about this amazing lady. So no one knows a taste for adventure better than Naomi. At 66, she has harnessed the power of unique perspectives to help guide fellow senior adventurers who have felt isolated and depressed at home. Whether leading tourists to Israel, climbing high altitude mountains, speaking on 5 continents as an international best-selling author, Naomi loves sharing positive living inspiration through wisdom connection by monthly membership. And when Naomi isn't using her charismatic, fun-loving touch to exercise full self-expression and vitality, she raises money to save children in developing countries born with congenital defects who will die without heart surgery. Oh my gosh. Does she sound amazing? Because she is. You're right. Trust your gut about this. This is going to be an incredible conversation because we're talking about wisdom connections for seniors. Why I believe this is such an important topic right now is because we all know someone who is feeling alone, we're worried about our seniors. We're worried about these amazing people that have lived incredible lives, and we need to protect them and help them to feel, to have an adventure like Naomi is talking about. So Naomi, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today. And can you please share with us, why is this topic so important to you? I'd love to hear a bit about your story.
Well, hi, Connie, and everyone, wherever you are from around the world. I know that storytelling is really important, and my story is not more important than yours. However, I had the most amazing grandparents, and both sets of my grandparents were farmers. So I got to go and spend summers with my grandparents, whether that's picking vegetables in the garden or canning food in the kitchen. And then throughout the year, they would write to me and connect with me because I lived on the West Coast and they lived on the East Coast. Now that's complicated, but it's actually similar to what's happening right now. So many of our families do not even live in the same town as us. So if you're one of those who's lucky enough to have your family all together, that's fantastic. But this is 2020, almost 2021, and we actually don't live anywhere near each other. So seniors have become isolated because they don't have the same skills that they need for the technology of today. They don't have the ability other than to pick up the phone. It's not they couldn't get it, it's that we haven't taught them. We've allowed them to be crunched down with this pandemic and set aside. But that's not how I grew up. I grew up connecting. And when I lived on the West Coast, what I did was go to senior homes 2 times a month and hang out with seniors. And I always prayed and hoped that somebody in New York was doing that for my grandparents. That's my big why.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I think this conversation needs to be had now more than ever before. Seniors have been isolated in the past, but now, given what's happened with the global pandemic, more so. And I love that you bring up that there's a lot of families where, aging parents are living somewhere else as with the kids. And so it makes it even more challenging to make sure that our amazing seniors, the people that we love so much, are being taken care of, are being protected, especially with what's going on in the world today. Can you tell us a little bit about what are some of the challenges that seniors are facing? What are some of the challenges that the adult children of seniors are facing? And what can we do to support and fill that gap?
Well, I'm going to talk from my personal experience. My parents were 84, and now my dad's 88 because my mom went to heaven. And what I've watched is a decline. First of all, it depends how they pass on, but that decline can create a huge hole. And what's happened during the pandemic is my dad has food delivered to him every day to eat, but he has to eat alone. So what could I do about that? I do a Zoom call every Thursday with my dad. It's a Zoom lunch. So I gave him a tool that he can use as a gadget that he can set his mini iPad up on, and we can have a chat over lunch. So I'm eating lunch, he's eating lunch in 2 different cities, but together, so he doesn't feel alone. The challenge for that is he doesn't like to be on a schedule. So finding the time, I forgot we were having lunch today. Okay, that kind of thing is okay, right? Another challenge is what to give them. Because they have accumulated so much and they haven't been able to go into it. So I call it the daily dumping. And I challenge every senior that I meet, including myself. And if you went on my Facebook page today, you'd see that I did a daily dumping activity where I took out a box that I haven't looked at in 5 years and I opened it up and I discovered what was in it. And I only threw away 2 things out of 6, but I did throw away 2 things. And that letting go of some things that aren't serving us is what we need to help our seniors do. And then the third thing I wanted to mention is that our seniors have been superheroes. Whether they were parents or aunts or uncles or teachers, any kind of career, and now they're set aside. No, all that life experience is so valuable. So their legacy has been kind of set aside because we're so involved in being careful about everything. I encourage them to tell stories. So on this bi-monthly membership that we have, they tell stories and they're challenged, and I give them a content and I give them an outline, and they just have to fill in the spaces, and the stories they tell are hilarious. I think I should mention one other thing. One thing that they've mentioned regularly is the opportunity to exercise. And so a number of my seniors have chosen to get out of their houses and decide to take a walk, a mile a day, a mile and a half a day, whatever their number is. Another one of our seniors has decided to swim every day, but not really every day. It's more like 4 times a week. But if you add that all up, that would be 30 miles a month and about 14 hours of swimming that he wasn't doing before. And so that's empowering to him in his physical body and gives him a baseline of health. The other piece that was challenging, and I just realized how to do it,
It's not that it doesn't exist, it's just looking, right? Looking past the obstacle and seeing what could be the answer. So one of my seniors said, I miss travel. And she said, well, I'm never going to take a cruise again, because she got worried about what happened in the Chinese cruise thing. But she said, we planned, we actually made our reservations for September of 2021 for her next vacation, which is more than a year from now. And I said, wow, I just went to the National Museum of Women's Art in Washington, D.C. Did you know that you can tour that museum virtually now? And you can get a book that shows the amazing paper sculptures of women from around the world at that museum. So as our little world changes, the big world changes. And they're adapting, they're creating opportunities for us. So I'm going to do a whole segment just on travel to a museum, and I will take them to that museum and show them how to do it, because not every senior knows how. Well, I mean, I'm a senior, I'm 66, and you become a senior at 55 in the US, correct? Other countries, it's different. But by 65, 70, those who are in their 80s haven't had near as much experience with technology. So one of the goals is to enable them, have their grandkid over when we're doing our call, so that you can do this easily and effortlessly. And the more repetition they do in those small steps, the more success they have.
Wow, that was fun. And that's really my heart. My real big heart is to reach out in ways that can help seniors make the adjustments and cause us to rise up and not be kept down. So as I was talking about seniors being superheroes, that's Women Who Rock. These are, I think it's 30 women from mostly the United States. They're living in the United States, and they have done something to overcome an obstacle. And I wrote a chapter in this book, and it is called Climbing Over Rocks. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, Climbing Over Rocks. And I talk about really specific things of how I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and what happened at the top. Now, yesterday, I kind of went really long and over time, so I will have to break up yesterday's Facebook Live because it was way too long. But I did a whole series on my husband's slides of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. And if you realize the ultimate attempts that we do with our lives, the biggest mountains we climb, it could have been changing jobs, it could have been moving across the country, it could be climbing a mountain. It's the journey. It's the journey that makes all the difference for how you come out on the other side. It's the mindset that you decide, I'm going through no matter what. So I taught a little girl that was here from Bangladesh some real simple words. And it's not uncommon, it's actually a scripture. And it says, over, under, around, and through. Whatever it takes, I will do. And I think that if you could have that mindset, wouldn't you be the kind of person, if you're the senior, that you overcome, or if you have parents who are seniors, they overcome. And they can look, you can look into their lives, into your life, and find a way to push that forward so that you can be the most amazing senior ever. And as I said a couple of days ago, I'll share the article. Those who ask for it, I will share the article that says 87 is the new 65. What? What? I know, what? And I want to remind you that we've only done help other people every day one time. We're going to do it again. Today was Help Seniors Now, Caring for Your Loved Ones. And I'll share more of that radio interview later because it was longer. But I want you to have your best life. So I want to close with love yourself, hug yourself, and make a smile to give away. Thanks so much for joining me. This is Naomi, creator of Positive Living Inspiration, and I call myself always young because I, like Andy Cupp and Chris Blasey, want to change the world by living our lives full out the best we can each and every day. So once again, love yourself, hug yourself, and make a smile to get away. Thanks so much.